So today we're diving into something pretty unique, huh? I mean, we're talking about clothes, but not just any clothes. This is like next level attire.
Yeah.
We're talking about the clothing of the high priest Aaron and his sons, as described in the book of Exodus, chapter 28.
Yeah, you got it. It's not just about fabric and fashion here. This is about garments that were like designed for a sacred purpose. They were meant to be imbued with all sorts of symbolism and deeper meaning.
Yeah. It's like, thinking about clothes as more than just something you wear, right? They become like a statement, a symbol of something much bigger. So our mission today is to really understand what these requirements for the priestly garments were all about and what they might represented within their historical and religious context.
Right. Absolutely. So we're going to look at the materials, the craftsmanship, the purpose behind each piece. Like, what made these clothes so special?
Okay, so right off the bat, the text lays out this really clear command. God instructs Moses to bring Aaron and his sons forward, and it's for a very specific purpose, to serve as priests.
Yeah, and that's where these garments come in. They're described as sacred garments, and they're meant to give Aaron this aura of dignity and honor. It's like they're instantly elevating his status.
Like these clothes are making a statement about his role, right?
Exactly. It's not just about, looking good. It's about reflecting the importance and the sanctity of the priesthood.
And it's interesting, too, because it wasn't just like, hey, anyone sew this up. God specifically says that Moses should talk to these, he calls them skilled workers to whom I have given wisdom in such matters.
Right. So it's not just about sewing skills. It's like divine inspiration is woven into these garments.
That's so cool. It's like, God is the ultimate designer here.
Totally. And that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating. We're looking at the intersection of skill, artistry, and divine wisdom. It elevates the whole act of creating these garments to a sacred level.
Okay, so we know who's making them and why. But what were these garments exactly? What did this sacred wardrobe consist of?
Okay, so the main pieces were the breastpiece, the ephod, a robe, a woven tunic, a turban, and a sash. So it's a whole ensemble, right?
Wow, yeah. And it wasn't just Aaron who got all the fancy clothes. His sons also had special garments like tunics, sashes, and caps.
Yeah, so even though there's a clear hierarchy, everyone involved in the priesthood has their own specific attire. It's about signifying their roles and their place within this sacred system.
So moving on to the materials, we're not talking about everyday fabrics here. The text mentions gold, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and fine linen. It sounds so rich and purposeful.
Oh, absolutely. These were the most luxurious materials of the time. And the fact that they were used consistently across multiple garments really speaks to the importance of the high priest's office and the rituals he performed.
I'm imagining it's like this explosion of color and texture.
Right. And each color likely had symbolic meaning too, Blue often represented heaven, purple was associated with royalty, and scarlet could symbolize sacrifice. It's like they're weaving meaning into the very fabric of these garments.
Let's talk about one specific piece.
Yeah.
The ephod. Was it like a vest or something more?
It's described as being made of the same, fancy materials as the other garments, the gold, the colored yarns, and the fine linen. And the text really emphasizes that it was the work of skilled hands, which again speaks to this idea of divine inspiration being channeled through human craftsmanship.
So it's like a divinely inspired piece of art almost?
Totally. And it had these two shoulder pieces for fastening and a waistband that wasn't separate but woven into the ephod itself. And guess what? The waistband was made of the same intricate materials too.
Wow, so no cutting corners here. Everything had to be top-notch.
And these shoulder pieces, they had a very specific feature, didn't they? Those two onyx stones.
Yeah, those were super important. They were supposed to be engraved with the names of the sons of Israel, 6 names on each stone in the order they were born.
So he's literally carrying the names of the 12 tribes on his shoulders.
Exactly, and not just any engraving. It had to be done like a seal, which back then was a very official and personal mark. It's like he's carrying their identities with him.
It's powerful. The text even calls them memorial stones. It's like a constant reminder of who he's representing.
Right. He's literally bearing their names before the Lord, like a physical embodiment of their presence in the sanctuary.
And to add to that, there were also gold chains involved, right?
Yeah, these beautiful chains made of pure gold and braided like a rope. They were attached to these gold filigree settings that held the onyx stones.
So even more intricate detail, connecting these memorial stones to the garment in this really elaborate way. Yeah, it's like every detail was designed to reinforce the symbolism and the meaning behind these pieces.
Okay, let's move on to the breastpiece, which is described as A breastpiece for making decisions. That sounds pretty important.
It was like the heart of the high priest's role. And it was made, of course, with the same attention to detail and luxurious materials as the ephod. It was supposed to be a perfect square, a span long and a span wide, which is about 9 inches by 9 inches, folded double to create a pocket.
And this wasn't just an empty pocket, right? It was designed to hold those famous 12 stones.
Exactly. 4 rows of precious stones, 3 in each row, representing each of the 12 tribes of Israel.
And the text actually names each stone. Like it's this super important recipe. It's carnelian, chrysolite, beryl, turquoise, lapis lazuli, emerald, jacinth, agate, amethyst, and then topaz, onyx, and jasper.
That's right. Each tribe, with its unique identity, was represented by a specific stone. It's like this beautiful mosaic of the entire community.
And how is this breastpiece attached to the ephod? I mean, it sounds like it needed to be pretty secure.
It was attached with braided gold chains and gold rings, kind of like a double system of connection to keep it from, swinging around. The text says that the breastpiece will not swing out. It was supposed to stay right over Aaron's heart.
So, both physically and symbolically, it's connecting the high priest to the people he represents. And speaking of symbolism, within this breastpiece were the Urim and Thummim.
Yes, the Urim and Thummim, these mysterious objects that were used for divination, like seeking guidance from God, and they were placed inside the breastpiece, right over Aaron's heart.
It's fascinating. It's like this physical representation of seeking divine wisdom, and it's connected to the very heart of the high priest.
It's like his heart is literally carrying the means of making decisions for the people.
Okay, let's move on to the robe of the ephod. This one sounds pretty unique, even sonically.
It was made entirely of blue cloth, which, as we mentioned before, was often associated with heaven. And the coolest thing about it is that it had pomegranates and bells around the hem.
Pomegranates and bells. That's such an interesting combination. Why those two things?
The text says that when Aaron was ministering in the holy place, the sound of the bells would be heard so that he will not die. It's like a warning system almost.
Oh, wow, yeah. The sound of his movements was like a vital part of the ritual, and it even had life or death consequences.
Exactly. It's like his presence in the holy place had to be announced, and the bells served as this audible reminder of the sanctity of the space.
Next up, we have the turban and the gold plate. Feels like we're moving into even more symbolic territory here.
The turban was made of fine linen, so again, emphasizing purity. And then there was this gold plate that was attached to the front of it. And on the plate, engraved like a seal, were the words, "Holy to the Lord."
So front and center, a declaration of his holiness.
It was a constant reminder, both for Aaron and for anyone who saw him, of his sacred role. And the text says that by wearing this plate, he would bear the guilt involved in the sacred gifts the Israelites consecrate. It's like he's taking on their responsibility.
Wow, it's like he's mediating between the people and God, ensuring that their offerings are acceptable.
Exactly. It's this really powerful image of atonement and intercession.
We also have some details about other garments, right? For both Aaron and his sons.
Yeah. Aaron had a tunic made of fine linen and a sash that was, again, described as the work of an embroiderer. And his sons also had tunics, sashes, and caps. It's like everyone involved in the priesthood had their own specific attire, reflecting their role and status.
And all of this clothing was part of a bigger process, the ordination ceremony.
Absolutely. After being dressed in these specific garments, Aaron and his sons were anointed with oil and ordained. It's like this ritual that formally sets them apart for their sacred service.
It's like the clothing is transforming them, making them into priests.
Exactly. It's not just about the clothes themselves, but what they represent.
And it's interesting, too, that even though they're not visible, there were also instructions for linen undergarments.
Right. These undergarments had to be worn whenever they entered the tent of meeting or approached the altar. And the reason given is really interesting. It says, so that they will not incur guilt and die.
Wow, so even what's underneath matters. It's like this emphasis on ritual purity, even in the smallest details.
It's like holiness permeates every aspect of their being, from the inside out.
And all of this, these instructions, it wasn't just for one generation.
The text says it's a lasting ordinance for Aaron and his descendants. It's like this tradition was meant to be passed down, ensuring the continuity of the priesthood and the proper performance of their duties.
So we've gone through a lot of detail here. But what does it all mean? What can we take away from these incredibly specific instructions.
It's clear that every detail was intentional, right? The materials, the colors, the gemstones, even the sound of the bells, it's all designed to convey meaning and symbolism.
It's like this really rich tapestry of spiritual significance woven into the very fabric of these garments.
And it shows us how important these roles and rituals were in this ancient context. It's like the clothing itself was a way of communicating with the divine.
By diving deep into these details, we've gained a whole new understanding of the practices, the beliefs, the sheer importance that was placed on the priesthood in this ancient world.
What's really cool to think about is that these instructions reveal a worldview where the material and the spiritual were so intertwined. It's like the clothing wasn't just cloth, it was a conduit for divine power.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, how do we represent sacredness or authority in our world today? What are the modern equivalents of these elaborate garments? Do we even have anything that compares? That's something to ponder, I think.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.